My name is Karen Brannon, and today I'm giving a speech on the need for reform in nursing homes. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are things that past generations have fought for. How is it then, at the end of their lives, two of those rights are stripped away? We've all seen it. Stories in the news about nursing homes filled to overcapacity. Their nurses spread so thin they can't even come to satisfying the need. Let me compare this to something you might know. A daycare. What would happen if you found out that a daycare had strapped your child to a chair all day because they didn't have the staff to deal with them? What would happen if you found out that a daycare had used psychoactive medication on your child because they were too difficult? What would you do if you found out that a daycare which you had entrusted with the safety and well-being of your child had forced a feeding tube down their throats because your child couldn't eat fast enough? Don't know? Let me tell you. The daycare would immediately be shut down, an investigation would be opened, and those workers would be arrested on child abuse charges. We expect daycares to be places that protect and enrich our children. So how is it then when the exact same thing happens to the elderly? It's just a part of life, just part of the system. The answer is it's not. According to the Nursing Home Reform Act, it's not even legal. And yet, it will continue to happen until we take a stand and change the system. In this speech, I will show you just a few of the horrible things the elderly are facing in these nursing homes and what we can do to stop them. Nursing home conditions are not only unsafe for residents and workers, but these conditions also violate U.S. law. First, nursing homes' mistreatment of their patients is illegal. Nursing homes physically restrain their patients. They give patients psychoactive medication to make them more easy to deal with, and they feed their patients who can't eat fast enough with feeding tubes. Three of these things, restraints, psychoactive medication, and invasive feeding tubes, are all required by the Nursing Home Reform Act and by Title 42 of the Code of Federal Regulations to be prescribed by a doctor, not a home. Second, nursing homes illegally take advantage of their patient. All of these next three things are illegally forced onto a patient and are illegal by the Nursing Home Reform Act. All these things nursing homes actively do today. They require payment for extra care that should be covered by the facility. They require family members and friends to become financially liable for the patient. And finally, in order to even be admitted into the facility, patients are required to sign agreements of abscission. What that means is that it takes away a patient's right to sue the home in federal court. And instead, suits are brought to an expensive private judge who usually sides with a nursing home. Lastly, and most horribly, nursing homes are criminally understaffed. According to the CDC, in 2015, there were 15,000 nursing homes, and in those were 1.7 million beds. People occupying those beds registered at 1.3 million residents. And you might be saying, well, that's not that bad. Things were tight, but at least there were some extra beds, right? That's good. No, it's not good, because the beds aren't the problem. The problem is in that same year, the total number of people employed in U.S. nursing homes was 1,830. That means for every 710 residents, there was one worker. That is a problem. The truth is that most nursing homes are horrible places to be. They have oppressive, damaging effects on physical and mental health. They are unequivocally understaffed, and they are violating U.S. law. In this age of fighting for our right to a happy and enriching life, why do we subject our elderly to a fate we wouldn't even expect from criminals? Is that where we leave things? A grim reciting of statistics before we go back to our lives and forget about what was just said? No, it can't be. There is a great need in our country for care and advocacy of the elderly, and there are many things you can do to affect their lives. Firstly, we need more workers. What would happen if just 1% of the 2.8 million registered nurses in the U.S. suddenly went to work in nursing homes? The rate of patients per nurse would drop from 841 to 1 nurse in 2019 to 46 to 1. I don't know about you, but that seems a little bit more manageable. Next, we need lawyers to work with patients to make sure that they aren't signing away their freedoms just to get into the building. And more importantly than that, we need to hold nursing homes accountable for their actions and how they are treating their patients. Most importantly, the children of the elderly need to stand up and fight for their parents. We need to advocate for their rights. We need to love and visit them, and we need to speak up when something is wrong. I know how the past generations have treated us. Many of them have fought against our right to love, our right to life, and our right to a choice. But let us not forget, these are the people who raised us. These are the generations who fought for our right to vote, for our right to make a difference, for our right to freedom. How can we just abandon them now? We could give our children the relationships with their grandparents that we never got. We could keep history not just alive, but thriving. We can show them that no matter how they treat us, no matter what hateful things they say and do, we will always be there to fight for their human rights. Because if we don't do anything, a whole generation will die unloved and forgotten, and our generation will be the ones holding the knife. Thank you.